Welcome to A Diary with Mr. CV. I'm back, and I'm back with another one. I'm going to read a rhyme by one of the students that I used to teach. So Mr. Shawali, that's my surname, I am Mr. Shawali. It says, he's the best ever teacher, just like a speaker. Very good, how he stood, sometimes shouts, that's what it's about. He's always smiling, not so tiring. He always shines, that's the lines. Good at geography, I'm not sure about that one, but just like a choreography, he's the best, that's right, in the West. When we are sad, he's never mad, looks at all our books. I think our homie cooks. Well, nah, I just order a lot of food from, I don't even know, from Nando's or something. You can't even order food from Nando's. No. You can't.
No, you can't. I ordered it all day.
It's crazy. That's my cameraman speak. He's as funny as a clown, and he never has a frown. He helps us on the board. Let's all record. Today we're going to be looking at my journey into teaching and how my journey has been, and obviously different routes into teaching as well. Now my journey into teaching is not as smooth as other people's journey. Since young I've always been teaching things. So that could be through my coaching, through my teaching, and I knew as I've got my coaching qualifications, I knew that I wanted to also get my teaching qualifications. But this was brought about to my attention when I was in my final year of university, when one of the students in my class said to me, why don't you look into teaching? So since then, I started looking into teaching. When I was about to get into teaching, there were some requirements that you needed to have done. One of them was you have to have passed the skill test. Now this skill test, you only had 3 attempts. If you fail any of these skill tests, which is based on maths and English, you have to wait 2 years in order to do the skills test. So when I went for the skills test, I passed the English, fantastic. The maths, I failed the first one by 2 marks, second one by 1 mark. And remember, if you fail, you only have 3 attempts. You can't fail any of the maths or English. If I fail the last one, I have to wait 2 years. So one of my good friends, she was motivating me, telling me, go for it, go for it, go for it. And for that reason, I went for it again. And the final one, the final time I did a maths test, luckily I passed. That was the beginning of my teaching, because once I've passed that, I've already got my degree. I knew that obviously I could progress forward. Even as soon as you've got all that, when my CV was absolutely brilliant, you'd have thought, okay, I've got an opportunity. But guess what? That's not the case. After that, I was applying to so many universities. I was getting rejected. I've been all around the UK, Manchester, Buckingham, London, everywhere. They were rejecting me. And what they were telling me, you don't have enough experience. You don't have enough experience. You don't have enough experience. And obviously for me, it was disheartening, because how can I get experience without you giving me an opportunity? For that, I said, you know what? I've got my skills test. And this skill test, after passing it, it lasts 3 years. So I said, within that 3 years that this skill test lasts for, and I've worked so hard to pass it, I'm going to push the teaching within that 3 years. So for that reason, after university telling me I don't have experience, I said, you know what, I'm going to go out there and get experience. What I did was, one of the summer, I went abroad. I went to Poland and Czech Republic to teach. I was an English teacher. I was teaching children from there. As I went there to teach, it was really amazing. And it was with a company called Angloville. Literally, it was an eye-opener. Before I went to Poland, when you listen to all the media attention on Poland, they'll tell you, oh, don't go there, it's racist, it's this and that. But when I went there, it was completely different. I was welcomed and I had an amazing time teaching them. Now when I come back, they can't tell me that I don't have experience, because now I've gone out of my comfort zone, gone to a place where a lot of my friends wouldn't go, and I went there to go and teach, and like I said, it was totally amazing. So I came back, and then I was still applying, they were still rejecting me. But what I did was I said, you know what, if they're gonna reject me, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work in a school for a year, and then if I've worked in a school for a year, they can't come around and tell me I don't have experience now, because I'm actually in the school. Luckily, I found a 1 year long-term job in a school, and this was a job as a GLSA, which is for Graduate Learning Support Assistant. I started working with a one-to-one child within a school, which I did for a year, and I really enjoyed it. But I told myself the next progression was to apply for my teacher training and literally get into teaching. While I was at the school, I was looking at different options. Now, if you don't know the options to get into teaching, there are 3 different options. One of them is called a PGCE, and this is Postgraduate Certificate in Education. A PGCE means you spend half of the time at university and half of the time at a placement school. Also, the second option is a school direct option, which means you spend most of your time at a school for 1 year where you'll be learning on the job, and then sometimes you'll have essays or coursework you need to also fill out. The third option is the SCIT option, which I'm not too sure on that one, on the SCIT option, but definitely I would definitely recommend searching it up and looking for more information on that. After 1 year within that school, I told myself either I look into teaching or I go back into my sporting role. Something really difficult happened. One of the difficulties, I got offered a PE job. I was given an unqualified PE teacher job in a school in Tottenham. I went for the interview. My first session they told me to do, I did a football session, smashed it. They called me for a second interview. I did a gymnastics session, I smashed it. So then they've now told me, you've got the job. It was a brilliant feeling because apart from teaching, my passion was always been in sports. They told me that, oh, okay, I have to come in 2 weeks before the year finishes so that I can get used to the school. Next minute, they're calling me. They said, are you coming? I said, I'm not. So what I did was, obviously I was ready to go and take that job because PE was something I was doing. But the trick there was, it was unqualified PE teacher. Unqualified means you're still teaching sports, but you're not a fully qualified teacher. A week later, I was given an interview in Leeds for my teacher training. I was given that interview a week later. This other school for the sports job, they were calling me. I was trying to delay it till I go to that interview. And then after that interview, if I'm not successful with my teacher training, then obviously I've got the PE job to go into. I kept on delaying it. I was giving excuses that, oh, my manager is not here, my this is not there. When I went to the interview, because I was already working in a school setting, the teacher at the time was really helping me. Said, oh, when you go, this is what you do. And this time I said, you know what, this is my last time I'll be getting this opportunity. So I had to go there. I was fully prepared. I was writing notes. I was writing this. I was writing that. I got to the interview. People were bringing out books, reading long books. So luckily, one of the books that we were doing at the time within the school, I already wrote some parts of it down, and they were like, oh, how are you going to adapt it? I said, oh, this is how I'm going to adapt it. I'll turn it into a drama form. I will do this, I'll do that. Wow. Then we got to the one-to-one interview, and this is where it gets interesting. When we got to the one-to-one interview, the woman asked me, she said, why do you want to become a teacher? And this is what I said to her. I've got it right in front of me, what I said. And I said, according to the Department of Education, only 15% of primary teachers are male, while in secondary, 38% are males. So it means they need more male teachers within the primary school setting, which is true. Because obviously after working in primary school, I know that now. And most times, they're always saying they need more male teachers, And literally, as I'm saying all these stats, I'm bringing out stats, bringing out this, bringing out that. I can see in her face that, wow, she's thinking, nah, this guy came prepared. But guess what? As I'm saying all these stats, I'm thinking, yeah, I've definitely got it. She now turned around, she said, who is the Secretary of State for Education? That's when my mind just shut. All these stats that I've learned, they became useless. So my mind literally shut. And I was just like, huh? Sorry, come again. She said, who is the Secretary of State for Education? I was like, huh? I remember her. I know she looks like, but I can't really, I said, I remember the face, but I can't remember what's her name. Then, I think she now told me the name. After this interview, I did not tell this sports shop that I'm going to this interview. When I finished that interview, I asked the lady, I said, when are we going to find out whether we made it through or not? After the interview, the sports shop kept on calling me. He said, are you coming? What's happening? What's this? So I was like, oh, I'm not coming at this moment. I'm trying to delay it till the next Friday when we get the result. So the next Friday comes, we now got the result that I've made it into my teacher training. They've accepted me, they've given me a place. As they've said that, wow, my mind was just wow. Because now, it wasn't just the teacher training I was looking at, I've also got the PE job. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, what am I going to do? So I spoke to a few people and they said, you know what, go for the teacher training, because when you get into the teacher training, you'll be fully qualified as a teacher, and then obviously you can go back to your sports. because for me it was really difficult, because I was thinking PE and sports is always something I was really into. So I ended up taking my teacher training, and every time I'm there, every time I want to give up, I always say to myself, I left my PE job, obviously that became an extra motivation. And when I went, it was a year's course. It was tough. I really learned a lot and I really benefited a lot. It took me at least a good year and a half to get into the teacher training course. But you know what, I'm really grateful and I'm really appreciative that I really got in. If you are looking into teacher training, or if you are looking to become a teacher, there are variable routes for you to go into that you can look into, and trust me, it's a very, very rewarding profession. And you get to learn every day, you get to become better. I will be making a video on what are some of the benefits of becoming a teacher, and you should definitely tune into it. I hope you really enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, holla.